My recent video talking about Kyrie Irving got me banned for a week on Facebook. For what? I didn't even take a side. All I said was he was, along with the Nets, giving $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League, and somehow somebody thought to report that and think that was not okay. Whatever. Again, part of my video, if you go back and watch it, was about cancel culture. Don't believe in it. Again, don't believe in hate speech, but I wasn't putting out hate speech. That's a whole other story. Back to the Kyrie Irving situation. So as we all know, Kyrie shared a link on his social media for an Amazon Prime documentary that was full of anti-Semitic tropes. Everybody seemed outraged. But it was okay for Amazon to have it on their channel. So don't know why people are not upset with Jeff Bezos. Sort of a double standard, if you ask me. He's the one putting it out on his platform. He's the one making money off of it. Now, Kyrie is a man who beats to his own drum. It was evident when he started talking about the flat earth. It was evident in his stance of the C-19 jab, where he refused to get it, which meant he couldn't play, which means he lost a ton of money. But he stood by his convictions and what he believes to be true. Now, Kyrie, in this instance, refused to openly say, I'm sorry, I should not have shared this link. Instead, he says that he's sorry for how it affected those in the Jewish community. The owner of the Nets was not satisfied, was very upset. He was with one of the first people to come on and say he was dissatisfied and disappointed in Kyrie. Kyrie was also said to have had to have a meeting with Adam Silver because he too was not impressed with Kyrie's unwillingness to say that he was anti-Semitic, as well as apologize the way they feel he should have apologized. Now, Kyrie, again, beats to his own drum. Whether you agree with his stance or not, there's something to say about forcing an adult man to say, I'm sorry. As an early childhood educator, we're taught not to teach children that, because that becomes apologies that are ingenuine. But what is Kyrie to do? He was suspended for 5 games minimally until he meets the expectations of the Nets organization. You know, they said that his behavior was detrimental to the team, and they didn't want to associate themselves with him. He says that, and it's obvious that he really didn't want to give that $500,000. I think that was something that was forced on him also. And, you know, his thoughts are that he never said that he was anti-Semitic. He says that he's not the one that made the documentary. He says, I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. So there's a whole bunch of middle ground for some people, and other people is like, if you're not anti-Semitic, why wouldn't you just say that? But he feels that he has the right to his own ideologies and beliefs, and that he should not be forced to say or do things that others believe. Now, The Anti-Defamation League is now refusing to take the $500,000 that he was to give them. And what they say is, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs, is always no, without equivocation. So they're saying the fact that he's not saying, no, I'm not anti-Semitic, they will not take his money. The FBI now is reporting that they've received credible information about a broad threat to a synagogue in New Jersey. I don't know. I'm skeptical of mainstream media when it comes to a lot of these things, because I feel a lot of times they try to spin a narrative. So all of a sudden, Kyrie Irving shared a link, and now everybody's going to go after the synagogues. Not saying it can't happen. Don't see it happening. I think if somebody is an anti-Semite, then they have their own ideologies and they're going to do what they want to do. You can't make people do things that they don't want to do. As we all know, Kyrie, he's just a different type of person who stands for his principles and morals. And, he made a statement where he said, where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and proud to stand here? And why, when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group. So he's angry at the media for what he feels is being spun. And he says, I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility, then that's where I sit. And again, he takes responsibility for the fact that some Jewish groups may have been affected by his comments. But again, Jeff Bezos has that documentary out there. Should we not be talking about that? Why is it that we're going so hard on Kyrie? If it's not okay, then it's not okay for anybody. I have a real belief system myself that, one, you can't force a grown man or woman to say things that they don't legitimately feel, and they shouldn't be forced to. I think you have to get them to try and understand if you have a different perspective. And if you can't, can't. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. But the Nets organizations are also standing their ground and saying until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures and addresses the harmful impact of his conduct, the team refuses to give him a contract. And chances are this is probably the end for Kyrie as a New York Nets player. It is what it is. They've had a lot of controversy within that team this year. Probably more to come since they've just hired Ime, and see what, things follow him, if anything. Kevin Durant I'm hearing again that he's talking about looking for a trade. If that's true, who knows? But again, my stance on this, and you can believe what you want, and again, that's my whole point. We shouldn't be forcing a grown man to say something, even if we think it's wrong. We should be respecting the fact that he did not say, I hate a certain type of people. He shared a link, appropriate or not. He shared it. He took it down. He has apologized, maybe not a way that others want him to, but he has apologized. Should that not be enough? Subscribe to Rovis Rants, hit the like button. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I know I'm going to get a very amount of thoughts and views on this, so I want to hear you. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And hit that bell. It tells you every time I do a stream.